Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to World Unity Week. This afternoon, we have a very intriguing special session with Mr. Caleb Wilson. Take it away. Share us your title, your background, and bring it on.
Hi, y'all. Not too many people in here right now, but that's all right. I'm just going to pretend like I'm speaking to the entire world because that's what we're doing here right now. It's the beauty of technology, and that's the beauty of being able to pretty much instantaneously communicate with people across the globe. So that's what I'm going to put out for you folks today. The title of my talk today is How Love Saved the World. And it's just a personal story of mine of how love actually originally saved my life, my own perspective on this world. And since we are all microcosms in this great macrocosm of reality, it's pretty much my own savior can be seen as a savior of the rest of the world as well. And I'll talk about that later. But first, I'd like to start with a prayer. So I invite everybody who's watching this to close their eyes and drop into your heart. So we're going to connect with our higher source. Some people call that God. Some people call it their higher source, the universe, whatever you want to call it, Jesus, whatever resonates with you. But we're just going to call that love right now, is to unify us all on one concept and one theme of where we're going right now. So we're going to drop into our hearts, to look for the love, look for the life that is already there. Just feel that love. Feel the life that you are. Feel that love growing inside of you. Feel it radiating every pore in your body, every molecule of your being. Feel it becoming you. You're becoming it. Being love. Feel it touching you. Knowing that this love has blessed me now, and it will bless the rest of my days on this planet. And now, feel that love. Feel it radiating from you, radiating to every person that you've ever met, every person that you've ever loved, every person that you've ever shared time with. Feel that same love entering into their hearts, touching their hearts and their lives, blessing their lives, blessing the rest of their days on this planet. And now, imagine that love flowing out from all of those people, touching everyone that they've met and everyone that they have ever come in contact with. The same effect, touching their hearts, blessing their lives. This way, love becomes a cure for all humanity. All of our birthrights, it is the essence of our being, it is a fabric of our creation. It is who we are. It is our radio dial to tune into God. Love is all that we are. It is all that is real. It is all that exists. Thank you, love. Thank you, God. Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me. Or just my loving mom in this case. And our Kevin's there too. Sweet. Right on. So yeah, I named my little talk here "How Love Saved the World" because, like I briefly mentioned before, it's what saved my world. And that's what saved my reality and one of my darkest moments. Um, it was when my father died, and I'll explain a little bit about that story. And that's pretty much this whole presentation will be about, is talking about my dad and the situation, the scenario that happened here in January when he passed. So my dad was born into a family where he was pretty much the sole provider in the family. He pretty much had to take care of everything himself. His father was illiterate and pretty much not so much a part of the scene. His mother also was not really part of the scene. So he pretty much had to take it on himself to take care of the family, to pay the bills, to do everything. He pretty much became self-reliant at a very young age. And because of that, I think that he definitely felt the need for control in his life and to find purpose and meaning. It drove him to find answers and to find a way to make sense of this crazy world we all live in. So luckily he found my beautiful mom, and then he found Jesus, and that was his answer. And it worked for him. He became a pastor, and he dedicated his entire life to Christianity, helping people. Like some of my youngest memories, all my memories of him helping out people, just accepting people into their homes sometime when people that were down and out, just bringing them in out of love, just to give them, a hand up in life. That was just like memories I had. And but there was also things in the church I saw that kind of made me want to go find my own way, as we kind of all do in life. There's pieces missing and things that forced me to go search out my own path. And that kind of led me to surf travel, just traveling the world, just basically trying to create heaven on earth for myself by just basically just following my dreams and doing whatever I felt like doing, really just dreaming something and then chasing it and making that a reality. And that was pretty much just international surf traveling, just traveling all over the planet, learning different languages, meeting my beautiful wife, and so many other amazing things that have come from that. So that's kind of a brief background on me and my father. We'll go into it maybe a bit more here, see what happens. I'm not sure how this is all going to play out. I'm just going to keep talking and keep trying and stay in love, so that this is rated clearly to y'all. My dad also had an anger issue, and that has definitely affected me and my other siblings for sure. I only mention that because we're being real here. And that's what this is about. It's about being real with where we're at, or about real with who we are. Because I like the analogy that a friend of mine so often uses is like, if you're delivering a pizza and you're lost and you call the guys ordering the pizza and you say, "Hey, I'm lost," the first question he's going to ask you is, "Well, where are you at?" And if you lie to him and tell him you're not somewhere you're not really at, then he can't give you accurate directions for you to find his place. So I think in that regard, we got to be open and just tell people right where we're at, and that's where I'm at. So I don't know why that came out, but it did, and maybe that'll play in later. We'll see how it goes. But so as my search for meaning and truth evolved, and I started trying to find answers and love for myself, I kind of got into Buddhism a bit. That kind of seemed like it was right along the realms of basically everything that Jesus spoke. So I kind of went back into Christianity a bit, and then kind of just started bouncing ideas off of most religions, and kind of realized that pretty much all religions are all pointing to the same conclusion, the same source, is that love and truth lies within, and that conscious connection with that, with love, God is the way home. And the past 10 years, I've been really on that spiritual journey, that path, trying to find my own answers, my own love from the inside out, and from God, letting God in. So that kind of led me to a few different places in life. It led me to Awaken Life Live, which is a community of people that are basically trying to wake up the world, trying to manifest heaven on earth through bringing love into this world through each of our experiences, each of our birthrights, bringing that love into this world and manifesting into the world. And luckily, I found them because it was divinely planned. As basically, I was asking God for answers to big questions I had, and like magic, just this notification popped up on my phone, like right when I asked that question, and like Jonathan England popped on and said, "Hey," just started rattling off some phrases and stuff, and just like I felt like he was speaking directly to me, like answering my question I had just asked God in that moment. Like it was such a powerful moment. Like I actually dropped my bags. I was working, dropped my tool bags, and just like looked around. Like, I was like, "Is there someone filming me? Is this being filmed right now? Like, how is this even possible?" Like it was literally like one of those moments. Was this divine connection. It was so powerful. It's like, okay, fair enough. I'm gonna check this out, and I did, and that's how I went to my first Awaken Life Live, and it's like straight away, it's like, okay, these are my people. This is my wolf pack. This is where I'm meant to be. God has shown me to this path, so I've got to give this my all. And that's what I've done. And luckily I did, because in late December, both my parents got COVID. Right after we had COVID, me and my wife both had COVID, real bad. It was nasty, but we got better. And luckily my parents didn't catch it from us, but they caught it just a few weeks after we did. And they weren't too bad initially, but we were a little bit worried. I went over for Christmas dinner and had dinner with my folks, and remember my dad saying he was sitting in bed just so he wasn't contaminate the rest of the family. So he's sitting in bed. I remember him saying, "Yeah, I've already made peace with God. I'm already ready." Like, "Dad, what are you talking about? You're hardly even that sick. It's just COVID. You'll be all right. You're gonna be fine." Like he'd already just like made his peace with God, and was like, "No, Dad, why are you just, giving up, or just like throwing in the towel like that?" And I don't know, maybe he intuitively knew, but he'd said many times before, like basically since this whole thing started back 2019, when the whole pandemic started, I remember him saying that he never thought he was going to make it to live to see this. He never thought he was going to live to the end times, is what he saw it as. And I think a lot of Christians do see it at the end times, where, Armageddon, it's all the shit is hitting the fan, and reality is not what we thought it was. So yeah, maybe somehow he intuitively knew, and that's what I kind of maybe thought. But as he got sicker and sicker, we were kind of just in the state of unbelief. I think that, well, I just never thought he was going to actually die. I thought he was going to get through it, and he was a very stubborn man in a lot of ways, and I think that's kind of, I thought that was what it kind of did him in, because he kind of refused to eat there for a little bit. Like he just wouldn't eat. My lovely mom was just trying to take care of him, help him back to health, even though she was super sick herself, and he just refused to do it. Like he would just know, there's no way we could get him to eat. So then one day he woke up and he had a big appetite, and he ate a bunch of food, and we all breathed a sigh of relief, like, sweet, okay, yeah, this is a good sign. It's all going to be good. We're going to be all right. And then next day he started having some breathing issues that were like erratic and weird, and that's when my mom called the hospital, and long story short, they brought him into the hospital. And yeah, he was in the hospital for 4 days. 4 days or so. And every day was just getting worse and worse. And my sister just moved to Tasmania with her husband, and my brother just got COVID as well, so he was sick at home. And luckily, me and my wife had already had COVID and had the antibodies, so we were able to be with my mom while we were all doing Zoom calls, trying to talk to my dad, even though he's unconscious, just still trying to send love his way. And I remember every day, I had this belief that love could cure anything. Love could save anything. This is the belief that I hold true to my heart. I still do. I knew that love was the only way a miracle could happen, the only way that my dad would be saved. I knew that only chance at saving my dad was to love him back to health. And I had to do whatever it took to just love him so much that a miracle would happen in his life. And it was a miracle just how many people were praying for him. I think it had to be, I don't know, 500, 600, 700 people praying for him all at once, like real friends, like people from all over the world, people that he'd met, people that he'd helped, were all just like simultaneously all praying for him. And one day, it was like 2 days into him being in the hospital, there was an Awaken Life live event going live. And I was wanting to connect with the people there and just ask them to pray for my father with me. And one of my greatest fears in life is public speaking. What I'm doing right now is one of my greatest fears in life. And I had to face that fear. I remember I was at the grade, one of our surf spots, and I was up on the cliff there. Ironically, the same exact spot that a woman had committed suicide about 10 years earlier, just threw herself, like rode her motorcycle off the edge of the cliff and killed herself. Ironically, that was the same place I was, but this time I was trying to kill my ego so that I might truly live, so that my father might truly live, so that I could help connect more love and bring more love into my reality and into ultimately into my father's reality. So I was on the cliff there, pressing to raise my hand. And every time I pressed to raise my hand, my heart would just start racing. This fear would just come over me, just completely like immobilizing fear, just to speak in front of all these people, just that fear coming inside of me. And then my hand would drop, because the cell phone connection wasn't that good right there. So I'd have to press it again and go through that whole thing again, just like the anxiety of doing that. And just like it happened like 5 or 6 times. So I raised my hand and then it dropped again. And it was just like, I had to face that decision like 5 or 6 times to do that. I had to choose love over fear. I had to say, fuck fear. Love is the only thing that is going to save this. I have to communicate with these people. I have to get more love. I have to become more love. And I wasn't able to talk to them that day, and I kind of just gave up on it. And the thing continued. And then basically like the next couple days, I was just meditating, doing my breath work, Wim Hof breath work that I do, and just meditating, just going inside and trying to find every single beautiful memory I had of my father, every single beautiful thing that he shared with me, all the gifts, all the love that he had for me, and just forgive him for everything wrong that he had done, all his anger and all his issues, and just not even see that for him anymore. Just completely let go of that and just see him for the love that he was. And that was pretty much what I did every day. We'd go hang out with my mom and maybe have a Zoom call with my dad, speaking to him as he was unconscious there on the bed. And then we'd go down to the hospital, the closest parking spot we could get to him, because they wouldn't let us inside the hospital because of COVID and all that. And we just sit there for a couple of hours and just pray for him, and just basically just trying to love him as powerfully as I possibly could. Just finding every last bit of love I could muster in me, anything that would just give me that feeling that I could just project to him to heal him, to just send that vibe of love to him. And yeah, it was a pretty eye-opening experience for me, just burning through all that ego stuff that I had, and forgiving myself and forgiving him, and just coming back to love. And I remember the last day before he died, I think it was hours before he died, I was doing like a super Wim Hof sesh here at my house. Like, I think it was like 6 or 7, just like 50 round breaths, just like absolutely going for it. There's balls of the wall, all out. Just, I was giving it everything I had. And on the last round, I just had this vision pop into my head. This infinitely enormous tree. Like, it was like the tree of life, but it was like infinite in height, infinite in beginning. It was just, there's no end to it. I knew that it was all of humanity. It was all of life. And there was a branch coming off at it right at my perspective. And at the very tip of that branch was our family. And we were represented in these tiny little leaves. I was there, my mom was there, my sister, my 2 brothers, and my dad. We were all there. We were all that form of those leaves connected to that branch, connected to that massive infinite tree. And it was all a tree of light. That was the essence of who we were. And the form of those little leaves on the tree was just the form of our shell that we are here in this life right now. And I saw the form of my dad, this little leaf, just wither up and drop. And I shedded tears. I saw his leaf drop, but I looked again and I saw the light still glowing there. And I knew that he was still there, that he had never left. And that was his essence. It was that love that he was right there. I didn't quite realize it in the moment, but I realized it a little bit later as I was thinking more about it, that this whole time I was trying to save my dad with love. And I realized that he was saving me. Love had already saved us both, because I made a conscious choice to go for love, and he was just going home to love. He was going home to love, and I went home with him. And I went home consciously to love. And that consciousness, that one love, is all of our birthrights. It is the essence of who we are. It is the very fabric of our creation. It is inside of every single living soul on this planet. And that is how love saves the world, because it is already done. It is simply the essence of who we are. It is simply a matter of remembering that which we have forgotten. The source of all is right here inside of us. That's what I learned from that. I said there'd be a couple of tears, so let's bear with me for a sec. Oh man. That's the beauty of love, though. It can turn a situation that dark into something that beautiful. And honestly, like, I haven't really told anybody. I've told, I think, my mother this, maybe my sister, my wife, and a few random friends. I haven't even told most people I know. Because I just, for some ignorant reason, I thought they wouldn't understand. But maybe just I was ready to fully understand myself before I could explain it to people, of how something so tragic in my life could bring so much love and so much peace and so much joy into me and everyone around me. And I remember thinking, like, after my dad died, like, it was the strangest feeling. After that Wim Hof session I had, when I was just like, I saw the tree of life and infinite life that we are. It was such a state of love that overwhelmed me when when I saw that vision, that whole scenario play out there, and that's that split second, such a just feeling of peace that came over me. Just the peace of God goes without description. You just can't explain it. It's just, there's no logical reason how that should even be possible to feel that way in that situation. But I couldn't deny it. It was true, it was palpable, it was real, my experience. And I just let myself go fully into it. And yeah, sure, I was sad and it was painful for me, but my mom was still really sick. And I needed to be a lighthouse for her in that moment. I needed to be there for her in every way, shape, and form that I could. And I needed to exert I needed to exude love for me. I needed to be love and peace for her and get her back to health. Like I said, thankfully I had COVID before, so I was able to hang out with her every day, take her to the hospital, get her checked out, and thankfully she is alive and healthy and better than ever. And I love you so much, Mom. And I really got to feel the power of God working through me in that role I was able to take on for my mother right there. And now I see how it has affected her and how she's becoming a lighthouse in the world too, and how she is growing as a person, and how she is seeing this is a whole new chapter in her life, and how she is becoming a whole new, different, stronger, better person, because she's just letting love guide. And it's just a trickle effect of just how we let love affect us. We go in, feel love, go through our darkness and feel it, let others feel it, and then it just washes throughout all of the acquaintances, everyone we meet, just like the prayer we had earlier. It just goes out and touches everybody. Whether or not they even know it, I guarantee you, everyone on this planet right now just felt that, because I was feeling it. I know that everybody here was feeling it too. And it doesn't matter if it's just 1 or 2 or 5 people. It's just love is the one power that trumps them all. Oh. So let me see if there's a few more things I wanted to share. Yeah, maybe just a bit of a recap. I remember thinking that my father had kind of just given up, or that the ego had taken him out because of his stubbornness and unwillingness to eat. I don't really believe that anymore. I believe that somehow intuitively he knew. Kind of like a buddy of mine, a surfer buddy, Noel Robertson, like when he passed, I remember like a lot of people he talked with before he passed, like he kind of like he was always leaving on trips, but he kind of just like it was kind of like almost saying goodbye to a lot of people, almost like he knew too. It was like I feel like some people on this planet are just they're somehow more tuned in. I mean, obviously that's apparent in this society, or the circles that we all run in here, that some people are more tuned in, some people do know, they can intuitively feel it. And I believe now that is my dad had tapped into that. He somehow knew it, and he had, like you said, he had made his peace with God, and maybe he didn't even realize why he did it, but I realized why he did it. I know why, because I made a conscious choice to follow love. And when you do that, love gives you perspective. It shows you how a situation as dark and as ugly as that can have such a beautiful effect on you and everyone you come in contact with. And I think I'll leave it with that. And I think I've already run over 5 minutes on my presentation. I thank you all so much for being here for this. And being part of this. This was me pretty much stomping one of my biggest fears in life, is public speaking and technology and all that. This has been a huge milestone for me. I want to thank you all for being here and participating in it. I love you all.
I love you.
And you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Love you, Caleb.
Cheers, buddy. Woo! Big Kev.
Bro.
Yeah, buddy. Awesome. Thanks for being a part of that, buddy.
Miss you, man.
I miss you too, man. I'm gonna come down to see you soon.
All right, sounds good. I'm here for you.
Woo!
Cheers, mate.
Congratulations, Caleb.
Thank you.
Good job.
Oh man, that felt great.
Would you like to let your mom say something?
Oh yes. Would you like to say something, Mom?
Yeah, I'm very proud of you. You're doing what I'm also very afraid of doing. You did it. Maybe I passed that fear on to you of public speaking, but
Yeah, but that's what we're saying though, right? It's like now because I've taken that step, it's just that much easier for you to do it now too. And I've already seen you doing it, you know?
yeah. The Lord has really he has really come alongside of me and helped me in that area. But just seeing you overcoming that fear just really does encourage me. I just love you so much. I'm just so blessed to see you share your heart like that and in such a confident way. Really blessed my heart, dear.
Thank you. I love you.
Caleb,
Love you too.
I don't know if you see the chat, but Alex put a message in there saying thanking you for sharing.
Awesome. Cool.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. When love saved the world, here are the ambassadors of love, Caleb Wilson and his mom. Bless you. Thanks for being part of
Caleb Wilson.
World Unity Week.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye
So
bye.
much.
See you
Thanks,
next time at a big theater, Caleb.
You. Yep. Adios.